Yo, what is going on, everyone? Today they just dropped the trailer for the director's cut of Rebel Moon. We've reacted to both of the previous versions. I'm just gonna call them the trailers for the previous versions. I don't think we've given our thoughts on the movies on the channel.
Don't really think we have to because they're not the real movies.
So what were they?
They were the like watered down chocolate milk. You know, they're the
watered down.
I like this hot chocolate.
Anyway, I mean, we'll probably talk about this. We'll probably talk about this like when this comes out. I guess that would be more appropriate, but those first two movies came out and they were kind of PG, like Netflix wanted PG-13 versions of what Zack wanted to do and all that jazz, and it ended up not being good. But anyways, this time we got Zack's, blood. I'm guessing more maturity and all that.
We got more sex. We got more blood. We got more footage. Like at least 2.5 hours worth of footage, which
combined,
is a lot of footage. That's a lot of footage. We got maybe more characters, more lore. We got a bunch of shit. Obviously, it's coming from Zack Snyder's mind. The dude is thinking like so many things all at once. So I mean, I can't wait for this because Snyder has never missed Unleashed. He's never missed for me Unleashed. Now, my brother isn't the biggest fan of BVS, both versions, whether it be the Ultimate Edition, Director's Cut, or the regular theatrical version, which I'm not really a fan of. But personally, he hasn't missed in my eyes with his like Director's Cuts. BVS, Watchmen, Zack Snyder's Justice League. He just hasn't missed for me. So like, I can't wait for this. I can't wait. It's him Unleashed. It's him Unleashed. And at the same time, this is how it was intended. You always want to see a movie how it was intended. Even when you do take these like different like studio precautions and you're like, okay,
you're yapping.
I'll compromise.
We have never had
an
intro this long.
Yes, we have. I'll compromise for you a little bit. Yes, we have. I'll compromise for you a little bit. When you have stuff like that, you're not getting like the real stuff. And like that can affect not only, the movie's quality, but at the same time, like the tones and like just how the movie overall feels. Like, I feel like with that added on back into the movie, that R rating and stuff like that, everything will feel a lot more cohesive.
Yeah.
Because the first two very much did not. Let me tell you that. But I mean, here we go though. Like, let's see what it's hitting for, man. Like, I'm ready.
Are you? You're done?
Let's see.
No, with all seriousness, guys, go ahead and do us a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe, click the bell, all that jazz. It helps out the channel a ton. It's free, and if you like this type of content, like come on now, you're getting recommended content like
you're getting the Snyder hater view and the Snyder
not a Snyder hater.
You're getting both views, so leave a like, even if you hate or you love or you're a cultist. Leave a like. Leave a like. You're getting both points of view.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and watch this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this trailer for Rebel Moon, the director's cut. Oh.
Go dig my grave, both wide and deep.
Robot chick.
That looks cool.
Shit, that looks like Daft Punk's helmet.
Yeah. Oh, that looks cool.
Oh, is this gonna be a trailer without any dialogue?
Oh, whoa. Whoa.
Definitely seeing different shots.
Yeah.
Look at the blood.
Damn.
Lots of
I like it. It's very like exaggerated.
It's like 300.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, the CG blood. Jesus.
Yo, Jimmy with a knife flip.
Lots of CG blood. Like, it's everywhere. It's very 300.
It looks a bit more like cinematic in a way too. Oh, the blood splat on the screen.
Prepare to witness Zack Snyder's true.
Let's go, man.
Look at this.
Yo, holy shit. Whoa.
What is that?
Oh, that shit just gave me goosebumps.
I wonder what that is.
Dude,
I
can't
the director's
wait for
cut.
this, bro.
All right, everyone. That was the trailer for Rebel Moon, the director's cut. So are they called different? Like they're titled differently?
It is very, this is what I mean by Netflix completely botching this shit. Like, it is very weird because I went on the Netflix site a couple of days ago just to set my reminders, obviously, for when it releases, because like I got to be reminded I'm there day one. And they're called the director's cuts on Netflix. Rebel Moon Part 1 director's cut, Rebel Moon Part 2 director's cut. Even though they have titles.
But it says like a chalice of blood or
that's
whatever.
what I'm saying. They have their own titles anyway.
But that's not what they were called.
And I also feel like you would like it would differentiate itself even better from the other two, not being just director's cuts. You're getting entirely new titles. Like the first one is just Rebel Moon Part 1. But when you have Rebel Moon Part 1 director's cut, it doesn't make it seem that different. Whereas
no,
if you have
the
like
first
Rebel
one is
Moon
called like
Part
Child
1,
of Fire or something.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They got
that's
like
what I meant.
completely different
and then the
subtitles
Scar Giver.
too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That my bad. I meant the opposite. That's why Netflix is doing that on their website. That's why they're doing the
That's
Part
odd.
1 director's cut. It is odd,
I
but I mean, I get it.
Called
I get
the
it.
first
but
two.
this is what I
PG.
mean when I say like they're kind of messing it. Like it's very
Oh,
messy.
it's not kind of.
How they're
it's not kind of.
It's messy. Like how they're going about doing this.
Why they
shit.
botched it so hard, but I will say I feel like they should have called the PG-13 versions just Rebel Moon Part 1 and Rebel Moon Part 2, and then for the director's cuts you get the more
The titles.
detailed subtitled. Like
I always felt like a Child of
That's
Fire and Scar
odd.
Giver. I always feel like those were last minute titles. I always felt like, especially the Scar Giver. I always
there's some
felt like that was the
interesting
last
shots
minute
in
title.
here. A lot. I said during the trailer, a lot of CG blood. That's
dig it,
reminiscent of
It is
300.
Very reminiscent of
little bit.
300. And if anything, my brother hasn't seen the movie. Very reminiscent to me of 300 Rise of an Empire.
I've never seen that. Yeah.
What I like about 300 Rise of an Empire, it's not perfect, and we did not need a sequel to 300, but I do enjoy it. And what I did like is they kind of modernized that 300 approach with the CG blood, because in the first 300 it comes off kind of 2D, a little bit,
yeah.
a little bit, and in 300 it's like, this is modern. Let's just make the blood look like buckets of like
so it's got like
coagulated like
what's a movie,
that kind of stuff.
What's a movie that
I like
reminds you
that
of
stuff, and I think it fits for the universe. Like seeing this trailer, it clearly fits so much better for the universe like that he's building. Like you can just tell that the PG-13 versions, that kind of shit held it back. Like it made the vibe of it not feel as concrete,
kind of a tonal whiplash. Yeah,
it didn't feel like concrete. Whereas now it's like it feels like its own universe, like almost like Halo rated R on steroids. Like there's a certain vibe to it that feels a bit more concrete.
To see exactly, and I know we went through this with the whole Snyder cut, but I'm curious to see the differences. Whether that be obviously you got
some same shots in here,
and it's a lot of the same like action shots, just with the extra oomph that we were looking for. The heads being shot off, the blood, the people getting cut in half, and like the maturity with like sex scenes. But I'm curious to see like who is more fleshed out and like
characters,
and like what
lore.
Yeah, what exactly are they going to add in terms of the world building?
Like the thing with the Callie, the big,
I'm like
giant.
Like how much are we spending on that?
Number one.
Whoa! Oh my goodness, that came out of left
get one thing
field,
straight.
dog.
Hear me out. Number two, though, that shit looks insane. The tier,
it looks
the tier, how it was like
glowing,
crystally and glowing. And I like how they made that droplet look so big. Like,
yeah, that was pretty cool.
I love this stuff. But I mean, yeah, like you were saying, the action same. It looks like some now may not be all of it. It looks like some of the parts are like same choreography and stuff, but there is that oomph, and it's so
There's
noticeable
more of an
in the
impact.
PG-13 version.
Yeah. It's
It
cut
feels
up.
so empty.
She's shooting people in the head, but there's no mark or anything. Like
Turok is axing people, and it's just bouncing off of armor.
They're like just falling
just like,
down,
and it even makes the armor look flimsy as shit because it's just like there's so many again, the blood and stuff gives it a lot more oomph. I think it just makes things a lot more crystal clear, a lot more concrete. I'm just digging the vibes of this though. Like, this is what I like. This is what I wanted, honestly. Like when he announced,
I think that's what everyone kind of wanted when you announced Snyder's version of Star Wars. What do you imagine?
And he tells you it's bloody
Star
shit.
Wars with more blood and
blood.
sex. It's kind of what you want. And so
I'm digging
when
it
you
though.
give me a tame version of that, I mean, this is my
even the color grading and stuff is a little bit different too.
I didn't notice it more, but I could see
darker and cinematic. It looks a little bit more cinematic.
It still has that super digital look though, like super
Noble's getting deep. He's deep throwing tentacles.
That's wild.
Noble's deep throwing tentacles.
This is what we're spending money on.
a lot of motherfuckers on Twitter can relate. A lot of people on Twitter can relate. Whole lot of dick riding going on that app.
But I will say, like, I want to get into this as quick as possible before we end the video. I mean, what was Netflix thinking? So, like, the issue with this entire, I don't even want to call it a movement or idea. Just the issue with this whole thing is you get Zack, right? You get him. You're like, oh, you have this franchise that you've been thinking of doing for the past decade? Okay, how about you make it with us? Actually, what we're going to do, we're going to do our own Snyder Cut movement. And what we're going to do is we're going to let you work, but you're going to have to make us a PG-13 cut.
The only solid reasoning I could see for this is more content.
I'm sorry.
You're getting 4 things for the price of like
How
one.
is that
I could understand
excuse?
Netflix. No, I'm talking about from a Netflix point of view. That's a good excuse from a Netflix point of view because, like, that's the point of these streaming services. I get the all along. Yeah. We need content. We need content.
I get the all along.
Like, we just need content for our service. We get to get 4 for the price of 1. Okay, cool. Like, I feel like that is the only reasonable explanation for this shit. Because other than that, what do you get Zack Snyder?
Yeah, I know. The very mature, dark guy.
It's like you want to get him for his vision.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say, that is the one thing is love or hate Snyder's work. His work is always interesting because it's always polarizing. You're going to have the sides that like really don't like it and the sides that really love it. And with those PG-13 cuts, you're kind of cutting the tree down and like, there is neither of those sides. It's
You're
just
getting
everyone's gonna dislike it.
Fans.
Everyone's gonna dislike it because the Snyder fans aren't gonna get the mature, dark, and blood that they want. And then the normal fans aren't getting the great story, the connected characters that resonate because you're chopping, you're chopping that out. So
there's some stuff in this trailer that I'm like,
and then
that lore is looking mighty tasty.
But I think the biggest downfall for literally this franchise as a whole is Netflix decided to do this for more content without understanding that this completely negates building a fan base for this franchise. And that's what you want. That's how you spawn more content. You know that show The Boys? Guess what? They can spawn a deep spin-off if they wanted to because people like the content.
You look at the views on this trailer, like, obviously it's not going to have as many views as the first 2 trailers, right? The first one, because by this time, it's like, oh, Rebel Moon, whatever.
Yeah, people are over it.
The thing is, and my thing is, you run the risk of shooting yourself in the foot in the same way of the release. Like,
that's what I'm
saying. You have everybody watch the PG-13 cuts, and then the director's cuts come out, and it's not that they don't want to watch it because the other ones suck.
That they don't care anymore because the other one sucked.
It's not. It's that It's not even that. It's just that
That's exactly what it is. There's
No,
a
it's
lot of
that
people that won't watch this.
You do the director's cuts first,
they
and
were
then you
burned by
release
the
the
other
PG-13
ones.
cuts after. I still think you would get the same result. You get the
I
director's
don't think
cuts
so.
first, being the popular ones, and then once the PG-13 cuts come out, not a lot of people watch them.
But people are going to be invested in the universe already, though. That's issue.
That's what I'm saying. No,
is if you released it reverse, if this director's cut ends up being like
that's gonna
great,
come with it. Yeah, obviously.
If it ends up being great, people are bought in already. So when those PG-13 cuts released, they're like, I already saw the good one. Like, I want the next movie with Zach's vision. But it's the opposite effect where they released the PG-13 cuts, and the people that saw it, there's a lot of those people that are burned by those two movies, and they're not gonna invest any more time in sequels.
At the same time, I could see that, like, I can understand, even though Netflix has long ass movies and rated R stuff on their platform.
That's my thing.
Like that, yeah, I can still understand why they that's what I mean when I say that only reasonable explanation is more content, because I couldn't understand them being like, PG-13 just does better.
Yeah.
When Baby Reindeer was just fucking the number one show for like how many weeks? Literally, that's
the
what
greatest
I mean.
shows are quite literally.
This is what I mean when I say I'm 100% sure it was just a matter of like more content.
Yeah.
More content.
That's
now that their director's cuts are dropping, they don't have to work on another thing.
And that's the issue.
Release in that week.
I think Netflix thought so short term with their ideas, and they're like, we could split this up and make more content, and not thinking if we drop the director's cut first, people will be actually invested in the universe, actually invested in the characters, and that can spawn us more content.
It would take a little bit more time, though. That would be the only thing. It would have took a little bit more time.
That's the issue. They're thinking short term, not understanding that they're completely
like
killing a franchise that could be their franchise. Netflix doesn't have one of those. Other than Stranger Things, Netflix doesn't really have a movie franchise that like
there's people out there that wanted to see Jimmy stab somebody with a freaking antler and do an antler flip, like a knife flip.
Yeah.
There's people out there that want to see that and they didn't. And now they won't see it because they don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
They don't care.
They don't even care.
So they're not even watching this fucking trailer. They're not even watching the trailer. They're not.
Yeah, I mean,
so they don't even see, oh shit, Jimmy doing a fucking knife
this
flip with
entire
an antler?
situation is such a mess, and I do want Zach to go back to doing studio work. I just think like it just looked like his movies.
Now I can understand why he might not want to. I think we can all.
No, yeah, I'm obviously talking about for a studio that he would like. For a studio that he would like, obviously. Yeah. But I mean, there is something about these movies, about just streaming movies in general. They have such a digital look to them. And Zach's movies have never, granted, he's using like different lenses and stuff, but I don't even think that's the extent of it. Like, as soon as he got to Netflix, that's when he first started shooting digitally. And you can kind of tell, like, I want him to go back to doing studio movies that are big, that give the time to his work. And, I mean, as of right now, the best thing Rebel Moon related they have dropped is a Roblox game. So, guys, go ahead.
I disagree. I think it's this trailer now.
You think it's this trailer?
Hey,
I don't know, bro. The Roblox game looks sick.
Bro, we got giant titties. We got fucking antler knife flips.
We got tentacles and throats. CG blood. We have people getting chopped in half.
We got sex.
This is
always a fan of that.
Always a fan of that. It is a dying art in cinema, I will say. We don't get many sex scenes anymore. I remember when that shit was in Eternals, everyone started cheering. I think I saw someone do a somersault in the front of the theater.
What I really took away from the trailer was that, like, it looks like I'm gonna be more invested in the lore of things.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately
what I wanted.
But that's what burns me a little bit. That's what's like, this should have been like the first thing. Like, if I end up loving this, if this ends up being like top 3 Snyder for me, bro, if this ends up being like top 3 projects Snyder has ever done for me, I'm gonna be so angry. You don't even know. You have no idea how mad I'm going to be at the potential that with literally Stranger Things having their last season, this could have been their, like, let's start a movie franchise now. They could have done spin-off shows and all this. But no, you bit yourselves in the ass by thinking too short term. And now there's a lot of people not invested in this. We just yapped for like 15 minutes. Like, I mean,
About
this whole
Rebel Moon.
situation, that's what I'm saying. This whole situation is such a debacle, such a mess.
I'm there.
Zack
though.
deserves
I'm there,
better.
though.
I mean,
3 hour,
granted,
6+ hours.
He chose
there,
this,
man.
but I still think, you know, they could have. You got someone like Zack, and you should have just let him do what he wanted to do. And
That's the whole point you get him for. That's literally the whole point that they got him.
Yeah,
because he's Zack Snyder, and he's
it's really messy.
What was that poster? Snyder has never Snydered more than now. I find that hard to believe when you're like chopping his leg off. Like
chopping his leg off.
I find it hard for Snyder to walk like regular Zack Snyder when he doesn't have a leg.
But he knew he was doing it, so it's not like it wasn't under his control. It's just that, you know, Snyder doesn't want to do that. Like, you know, like, you give him this, sure, he has full creative control.
Let's be
to
real.
make a PG-13
he wouldn't have
cut.
did it if he wasn't getting to do his own.
That's what I'm saying.
He would have walked away. I'll just go somewhere else.
Of course.
He wouldn't have
That's
did
the
it.
most frustrating part. It's such a debacle. It's such a mess. But regardless, I think there's a lot of new stuff in this trailer to look forward to, and hopefully it delivers. I mean, you guys tell us in the comments below, though, what you guys
Let us know
about not only this trailer, the Rebel Moon franchise, everything related to this. What's your favorite Zack Snyder movie?
Who's your favorite Rebel Moon character, and why is it Jimmy? Right?
Because he's the coolest, obviously.
He's fucking coolest. Knife flip with the fucking antler. Come on, man. Like, let's go.
But we love discussing with you guys down there. And if you made it this far and you haven't, I mean, you just heard us yap for like 15 minutes. Like, come on, we're your peoples. Go ahead, hit the like button.
What did I tell you earlier? Haters, cultists. You getting best of both worlds. Leave a like, both of y'all.
Calling me a hater, bro.
I'm not a cultist either. Hey, I'm not a cultist, but you get the point I'm trying to make. Leave a like.
I guess.
Both y'all. You're getting both points of view. That's the whole point.
Yeah, like the video, subscribe, click the bell, all that jazz. You know what to do. It's free. It helps the channel a lot. It's greatly appreciated. But other than that, guys, it's been your boy 𝙎𝙬𝙆𝙎.
Big boy Kills.
And hopefully we will see you guys in the next one.